inside Totino-Grace High School. I'm Charlie Beatty, joined by Ariel McDonald as the Eagles get set to host the Red Knights of Benilde-St. Margaret. And Ariel, this Totino-Grace team's got a new coach, a little bit of a new look, but they've got a lot of seniors, and they're leaning on them.
Very experienced team. I covered them last year in a Brooklyn Center game. Very organized team. I mean, Coach Ware, he got them all together, and the new coach has come in here. I'm sure he enjoys the fact that he has a veteran group, because veteran players are very, very important, particularly in the conference that they play in. So for the first game of the season, I'm sure they're very eager and very hungry to provide an opportunity for them to get that first victory.
Third game of the year on the other side for Benilde-St. Margaret's behind a veteran head coach in John Moore. Lost their first to some close losses against good competition, but they're leaning on a heavy early schedule here to get them going for a tough season.
You know, the advantage is to them because they've already got 2 games in, and so they've been able to identify maybe some things that they can correct and get better at. So I'm sure they're coming into this game really expecting that they can pull off maybe an upset here. Totino-Grace, they have that experience, they have the size, but Benilde, in those first 2 games, some very close losses, but they stayed in the game, they hung in the game, and sometimes that's something to build up off of. And so for tonight, we're looking for them to try to pull up this upset, and for Totino-Grace to try to hold home court advantage.
Last time they met, they were in the same conference. That was about 5 years ago, so it should be a good one tonight here between Totino-Grace and Benilde-St. Margaret's next on CCX Sports.
The color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. They're my savior. My name is Lola Silvestri. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Welcome back inside Totino-Grace High School. The 0-2 Benilde-St. Margaret's Red Knights season opener here for Totino-Grace. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for both teams. First, for your visitors, Benilde-St. Margaret's 5 seniors, Gabe Alana and Riley Miller in the backcourt, Liam Ford, Joe Dunn, Carter Uppus up front. They've got some good size. Uppus is 6'6". They also have a 6'8" guy coming off the bench. And there's 5 seniors for Totino-Grace, so a lot of experience on the court. Really 3 guards with Charlie Jacob, Braden Mischke, and Nick Flottmeyer. And then the big guys up front, 6'5" Will Schmidt and 6'6" Tyler Kittleson. So Ariel, a lot of experience here between these 2 teams, and we'll see how that plays out.
You know, at the beginning of seasons, if you're a head coach, you always want to start off your season and knowing what you have on your roster, and what is very comforting for a coach is when you have experienced players, because you start to understand that they are able to handle the moment, particularly in the beginning of the season. So if you're Totino-Grace playing your first game at home, you have to feel comfortable knowing that my team is able to handle a situation. Even though the other team has been able to get 2 games underneath their belt, their seniors should be able to handle this moment, particularly being at home.
And those 2 games for Benilde-St. Margaret's, one was last Friday, and they lost it on a buzzer beater, 69-66 to Columbia Heights. And of course, the last time a lot of people saw them, they were in the state semifinals. And then, of course, on Tuesday, they played a very good 4A team in Edina, lost 63-54. They basically played a very good half in each of those games, just didn't put 2 of them together. And that's what John Moore said. They'll look for that tonight. And, of course, Totino-Grace on the other side, first head coaching game ever, at least at the high school level or collegiate level for Nick Carroll. He's been an assistant at both the college level and the high school level, coming here from Minnetonka. Does have extensive experience on the AAU circuit with D1 Minnesota. He's very excited about this and very excited about his senior-led team.
Yeah, you know, an experienced coach with some valuable teaching lessons to provide to this senior team. Particularly if you're going to hire a first-year coach, you want someone with some experience. And when you have a veteran group coming back, you want someone with some experience who can rally the troops together as these players make that transition of just transitioning from the prior coach to the next coach. A particular coach like, let's say, Coach Carroll has that college experience, should be able to rally the troops, settle them in early, and get them playing the right way.
You see the Red Knights coming back out on the court. The Eagles will be here momentarily. Last year, Totino-Grace 15-13. Always an interesting team because they play that heavy 4A schedule in the Northwest Suburban Conference. Then they play in such a tough section. Last year they played against Matamidi. That was the team that knocked them out in the semifinals. Columbia Heights in that section as well. Benilde-St. Margaret, you don't have to tell them about tough sections. They've got De La Salle and Orono in there, so the road is heavily uphill for this Red Knight team.
And you know, sometimes when you play a tough schedule, the importance isn't about winning the conference or trying to create a record that is very deceptive or deceiving. So sometimes playing a tough schedule, what you're trying to prepare for is the end of the season, which is playing a tough section like they do. And sometimes, you know, they benefit from that, playing that tough schedule. And so tonight, you know, they're under the flu a little bit. They had the flu earlier this week. So I'm sure Coach Moore is, you know, going to be watching eagerly to just see what guys are feeling well tonight. But for Totino-Grace, if they know this, they should look for the advantage coming out strong and fast and try to just kill the game early on.
We're going to step aside one more time. When we come back, the opening tip, Totino-Grace and Benilde-St. Margaret on CCX Sports.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
The color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. They're my savior. My name is Lola Silvestri. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
I rescued Toast from a shelter in 2011. I love Toast because she's a lazy diva. Toast does whatever she wants, obviously. She's sleeping right now. She's an epic snuggler. She's so comforting. She's so loving. Toast makes me laugh. When I walked into the shelter, I knew right then that she was special.
Two teams being introduced here. Totino-Grace in their season opener. Benilde-St. Margaret's looking for their first win as part of a really tough early road for this Red Knights team. Already mentioned the losses to Columbia Heights and Edina. See the players being introduced. That was Joe Dunn, averaging 13 points per game. And there is Charlie Jacob, one of 5 senior starters for Totino-Grace. Very good outside shooter, averaged over 14 points a game last year.
And you know what he does well, too, is he ball defends well. He'll pick you up full court. He'll turn you. He's one of those guys that you can move him around the floor. You can put him at the point guard, the 2, or on the wing. So he moves himself around the floor well, and he makes himself a valuable player.
Jacob there mentioned it was a double-digit scorer last year. There you see John Moore in his 23rd season. Already has a state championship under his belt in 2008. Also the runners-up in 2007. Went to the state tournament in 2010. And there you see Nick Carroll. First season here as he takes over for Robert Ware, who left to go to Maranatha Christian, a school which he already works and teaches. And Nick taking over here. And a really interesting story about Nick Carroll. I didn't know this till he told me before the game. He was the guy who adopted the star of De La Salle's team last year, Gonar Mar. Lived with Nick Carroll all through high school. And now is, of course, playing collegiately at George Mason and doing very well. He is actually leading George Mason in scoring as a freshman this year. Gonar Mar lived with Nick Carroll.
That's awesome.
4 years. What a great story that is.
Yes, sir.
Shared a room with his son, and Nick's son is working the concession stand here at Totino-Grace tonight. So it all comes back around as you see the Eagles in their final huddle. And that might be Nick's son hustling out there right now to join it. Well, it looks like it's going to be Carter Uphouse who will jump center for Benilde-St. Margaret. There you see him. And Tyler Kittleson or Will Schmidt would be the likely candidates for the Eagles. St. Margaret's led. He died at 26-21 at the half. They trailed Columbia Heights by 12 at halftime, outscored them 43-34 in the second half, only to lose on a 35-footer at the buzzer. So that 0-2 record not totally indicative of what this team can be as we get set to jump center with Uphouse and Kittleson. And Totino-Grace controls. They start their season. Hand it off to Braden Mischke. And everybody on the floor right now for both teams is a senior. So this is a game of experience. Inside Kittleson. And his first one sent back by Uphouse. The second one wouldn't roll in, and Alata pulls it down. Good look for Kittleson twice.
Oh, yeah. Love that first offensive attack. You always want to start inside and then move outside. So with Kittleson's size, his athletic ability, that's probably the appropriate offense to try to start off the beginning of the season.
Joe Dunn on the wing. They go inside to Uphouse. Averaging 5 points per game through the first 2, but 2 on the board tonight for Carter.
That's a good sign for a player who's just averaging 5 points to start off the first opportunity, first possession, and be able to score so quickly.
Will Schmidt short with that one. Now here's Riley Miller, team's leading scorer, 19 points per game, coming off 21 on Tuesday. Wearing the number 30, Gabe Alata also in double figures. He's got the ball. They swing it around.
They assigned Nick Flottmeyer to defend him. Nick Flottmeyer, very, very good defender, knows how to read passing lanes, very aggressive off the ball and on the ball. Physical player who really has an instinct for playing the passing lane, so an appropriate assignment for him.
Miller missing short, but hustling down the rebound, actually keeps the ball with Benilde-St. Margaret's. One that went right under our table here. Liam Ford on the far side, now Miller again.
Red Knights running a little flex cut action and try to take advantage of their size inside.
And Joe Dunn with the floater. Another guy averaging 13 points per game through the first 2. 4-0. And a couple of good looks inside for the Benilde-St. Margaret's big guys.
You see Benilde, when you're playing on the road, you want to really attack the inside first. When you're coming into an opposing team's gym, you don't want to think about the three-point shot or outside shots and contested shots. And here's Benilde now with a good steal opportunity.
Liam Ford back the other way. That one might have been partially blocked. Now Schmidt goes straight into Miller, and that's an offensive foul. The basket went in, but won't count. And the first foul of the game goes to Will Schmidt.
Yeah, Coach Carroll probably didn't want his center making that kind of individual move so early on. He's a very experienced player as he tries to Euro step him there. But the player having the advantage to just slide his feet and get in front of him and take that charge.
That got the Benilde bench up early. Liking the effort there from Miller. He's already made another couple nice hustle plays. Alana finds Dunn in the middle. Trying to spin into a double team, and he's going to get bailed out by the foul call.
You know, Dunny's very mechanical, but what he does is he uses his size well, and so he gets into the body there and provocates a foul. And so you can see Benilde early on really looking to get the ball into the low post and attack the rim, and that's always a good recipe for success, particularly when you're playing on the road.
Foul went on Braden Mischke, his first. Joe Dunn missing the first free throw, looking for point number 3 tonight. Gets the roll on the second one. 2 minutes, 15 seconds in. Totino-Grace still looking for their first points of the season. Schmidt in the corner, skip pass. Charlie Jacob waiting on the other side. Tough shot. Kittleson, though, gets the long rebound. And Nick Flotmeyer. Another tough shot, and Uppus with the rebound.
Benilde doing a very good job in limiting Totino-Grace to just one-shot opportunities. And when you're playing on the road, what you want to be able to do is, if a team's going to take one shot and they miss, you need to rebound that ball because you don't want to give them second-chance opportunities. That builds confidence, that builds continuity, and can be a problem for you.
Alana picked up by Flotmeyer. Able to get around him and lay it in. Early 7-0 lead for the Red Knights. Schmidt, good crossover, just ran out of space down there. Now Kittleson for 3. And they can't get him to fall yet. Dunn was all alone inside. Nice play by Mischke to come over and steal it away. Now here comes Jacob. They run the fast break, and it's laid in by Flotmeyer, and a whistle also.
That's what Flotmeyer does. You know, he plays possum. He'll sag off of you, but he's always looking for that passing lane, and that's one strong suit that he has as a basketball player. Here he is, just digs in here, gets that steal and kicks it out, and he's really good at finishing around the basket.
Foul was on Alana. And that ball is going to belong to Benilde-St. Margaret's, despite what Will Schmidt and the crowd think. First substitution of the game, and here comes Dylan Drees, 6'8" junior coming into the game. Number 24.
Benilde's probably going to use their size, try to rotate them. You know, they got 3 or 4, players 6'6" and above. So they're going to try to rotate them, keep fresh bodies in the game, but still continue to attack the basket.
See, still looking inside, and they want Dunn. And the foul called on the second one. Looks like that'll go on Tyler Kittleson. They are force-feeding Dunn right now inside.
And leading scorer Riley Miller hasn't even taken an attempt yet, and he averages 19 points a game. But you can see Benilde, first 4 or 5 possessions, they're attacking the basket or they're going low and trying to, soften up that defense.
Foul on that one was on Jacob. There's the first substitution for Totino-Grace. Riley Berger. First game for Totino-Grace. He was at Minneapolis last year. And Dunn gets them both. He has 5. 9-2 in favor of the Red Knights.
We got Charlie Strong now running the point. When he handles the ball, many things start to happen. Whether it's good or bad, something is going to happen. So let's see if Totino-Grace can find themselves some scoring opportunities. Maybe Charlie's going to get dribble drive and get in that lane, maybe, penetrate and kick and get that ball to those outside shooters.
Shot blocked. Trying to go right back inside. Now here's a chance for Berger, and he drills it.
Berger coming off the bench. Coach Carroll looking to go small now. You bring Berger off the bench. He plays that stretch 4. That opens up scoring opportunities, opens up that lane for guys to dribble drive, get that penetration, and then maybe kick out.
Flotmeyer blocks the pass. Jesse Numunde is also in the game, number 20 for Totino-Grace. And you're right, that does make them much smaller. He's just 6 foot. Berger listed at 6'4". Inside for Dunn again, and a jump ball, and that will give it No, stay right here, pardon me.
Now with Berger in the game, he's mobile, so he can go out to the perimeter, but he's also able to recover inside, maybe stop some dribble drives.
Quick pass inside for Liam Ford. Everybody following Dunn to the corner, and Ford just sort of snuck in there to the block. Jacob trying to create his own shot. Berger pulls it in. Now Will Schmidt from the outside.
That's what Will Smith can do now. He's a stretch five. He's not really a true center. He has the ability to knock it down from the outside.
Ford lost the handle on the way up. Now Schmidt again. And Dunn knocking it out of the hands of Jacob. That will stay with the Eagles. They're going to get Eric Krieger into the game, number 2. The guy who's already played a half a game tonight. He played in the JV game. And some substitutions the other way as well, as Uppus returns, as well as Nick Peterson, number 33, a 6'2 sophomore for Benilde-St. Margaret's. Dunn gets a breather. Namunde played only 3 games last year at the varsity level. Berger kicks to the corner. Krieger for 3. Guys coming off the bench aren't shy here for Totino-Grace. First touches for both Berger and Krieger were shots. The offensive rebounding doing the job again for Benilde-St. Margaret's. And how many chances did Uppus get right there? Jacob with the crossover, and that one just barely grazes the front rim.
They got numbers here.
Miller for Alata. He got Krieger in the air, and then he grabbed onto him. That'll be the 4th team foul against Totino-Grace. Here's that last sequence for Uppus, but there you go. Count them. 1, 2, 3. Well, I guess it was only 3. It seemed like 5 or 6.
Stuff in the stat sheet, Charlie.
Got to get the offensive rebounds.
That's right. He's got 3 rebounds in 1 possession.
Checking something at the scorer's table. Not sure what.
You know, Totino-Grace right there was on a little bit of run, and this pause in the action right here could maybe bode well for Benilde here.
Trying to figure out what they're looking at, what the possibilities would be. Nick Carroll is over there talking to the referees about something. I guess we'll probably not find out. Oh, they're actually checking the scores. 13-8. They'd only given Totino-Grace credit for a 2 on one of those. So it's 13-8, not 13-7. And now it's 15-7 as Miller hits. I think that was a 2. They do. 15-8, pardon me, is the score. So everything's right on your screen now, and it's right in the building as well, as Miller has his first 2 of the night. Jacob trying to find a way to get some offense going, and out there to block that one was Drees. Namunde for 3, too strong.
You can see Benilde, they're making Totino-Grace shoot from the outside. Really, you know, controlling that paint area, not allowing any kind of dribble drive or paint penetration. It would look like Benilde saying, you're going to have to beat us from the outside.
How about the 6'8" Dylan Drees stepping out? Schmidt at the other end, a graceful leap, but he didn't get the finish as he overcooked it a bit. Drees wants another one. How about that?
Look at the luxury of having a 6-foot player who can finish outside and also has the ability to knock down the 3-point shot. That's a great sign for Benilde there.
And Jacob still can't get it going. 13-point lead. Back-to-back threes for Drees. Now Miller on the baseline.
He check.
I'm going to step out on him now. Peterson tries to go inside, and Schmidt got a hand on it. Wants to finish at the other end, does Schmidt. Nice play in traffic. He's got 5. It's an 11-point lead and a timeout taken, I believe, by Benilde-St. Margaret's. No, pardon me, it was taken by Totino-Grace. And a full timeout. So 21-10. And really, Just a quick strike from this guy, Dylan Drees.
I mean, if you have a center who can stretch the floor like that, it is very, very difficult to defend him. Here's the extra pass. He gets the puppies lined up and he lets it fly. Very, very difficult to defend a team if they have a center who can really space the floor out. Kind of like a Frank Kaminsky. You know, he has the ability to shoot it from the outside and also put it on the deck. But right now, Totino-Grace, excellent timeout call right here. He scores on the other end, so now he's got to call a timeout, settle things down a little bit because the game was just at 5 points, and then now all of a sudden Benilde pulls in front. So he's got to get the guys regrouped, get them refocused so they can make this run here.
Last year, Benilde had Derek Drees, averaged 14 points a game. He's moved on. Both of these teams lost multiple double-digit scores from last year. Benilde-St. Margaret's 3 guys from their roster averaged at least 12 points a game, not here.
And, you know, for the anchor for Totino-Grace, you had Big Rocky. I mean, he could just sit in the paint there and really control that paint area.
Rocky Cruiser now at North Dakota State. Nathan Kavalik also. That's 31, 32 points per game between 2 guys not on this roster anymore.
Not easy to replace that.
Drees again over Namunde, this time too strong. Kittleson back into the game. I would imagine he's the guy who's supposed to be near Drees. Berger missing from outside. Knocked out of bounds by Kittleson, out of the hands of Uppus.
You know, the recipe for winning games is first you want to play defense, control the paint area, and rebound. And right now, Benilde doing both of those, and that's why they have this 11-point lead.
And doing it all. Only 2 points from the guy with the ball there, Riley Miller. You look at those stats, and obviously it's only 2 games. John Moore even said to me before the game, I don't know what we are. He doesn't know who the leading scorers are going to be at the end of the year, so don't want to take too much out of the first couple.
And that's a good thing, Charlie. That is a very, very good thing because you know you have a squad full of players who can all produce something at any given time.
Flottmeyer, nice keep. Ed to Jacob, still trying to get going. Carter Wierke, number 21, is in the game for Totino-Grace, and Flottmeyer traveled. Braden Mischke comes back into the game. Jacob will get his first breather, still scoreless on the night.
And for Coach Carroll, really, Charlie, it's his first opportunity really learning who his seniors are. So, you know, this first game, it's a little bit of an experiment because he's got to identify who his scorers are, who his role players are, and what they're going to do from game in and game out. So, you know, first game always difficult, but Benilde looking sharp right now.
Uppus gets the roll. He's got 6. It's a 13-point lead again.
There those bigs go again, you know, killing you softly, either from the inside or from the outside.
Flottmeyer driving into a double team, looking for a call, didn't come. Pulled down there by Nick Peterson. Namunde with an active hand inside, trying to battle with one of those big guys. And the lefty Peterson from the free throw line. Cleared now by Kittleson.
I think Totino-Grace, they need to get Kittleson involved. He's a high-energy guy. You see his size. He's cut up very, very well. They need to find a way to get him some points, either from dribble drives or maybe a three-point shot. But if he gets involved, usually Totino-Grace, they pick up the intensity.
Right now, it's pretty much all outside shooting for Totino-Grace. They're not knocking him down. Drees has missed 2 after hitting the first 2, but that one was halfway in. Mischke. Look at how well Benilde-St. Margaret's getting back, getting into position. Done it all game. Miller got a hand on it. Namunde keeps it. This is Mischke. Flottmeyer. They have to move it around the perimeter. It's all outside. Nobody in the paint right now for Totino-Grace.
Right now, it looks like Benilde's playing a matchup 2-3, keeping those big guys, you know, underneath that free throw line so that now Totino-Grace can't dribble drive and get in that paint. The 2 guards working their butts off up top.
Kittleson coming from the weak side.
That's who he is. That's who he is. He puts on his work hat. He grabs his lunch pail. That's the spirit of Totino-Grace, the way he plays. He's going to play physical. He's going to mix it up, tip in balls. He doesn't need offense to score. He can score in many other ways.
Uppus lost it. Red Knights able to keep it. Just over 7 minutes to go. 23-12. Lead was as high as 13 just a moment ago.
Benilde looking for the mouse. They had a mouse in the house.
And Peterson knocks it down.
Good sign. Peterson knocking it down from the three-point lane. But you could see Benilde. Totino-Grace was doing a lot of switching. Benilde was trying to exploit the mismatch there. And sometimes sinking down there too deep in that defense will allow that perimeter to open up and you can get shooters to make shots.
And Munde couldn't hit from the outside. Schmidt and Jacob are getting set to check back in for Totino-Grace. Little offensive punch. Inside Dunn going up against Wierke. Just a freshman Carter Wierke giving up some heft inside.
Yeah, but Dunn, he's got some meat and potatoes on him, so he's a difficult guard. You know, if he has a smaller guy on him, he's going to bang you and try to get you deep in the paint and use maybe a spin move or a jump hook. And so for Totino-Grace, they're going to probably have to make some adjustments at halftime.
First free throw good for Dunn. He has 6. Been balanced effort. Uppus with 6, Dunn with 6, Drees with 6. Riley Miller, Gabe Alata, the 2 leading scorers coming in, have 2 apiece. Now 7 for Dunn, and the lead is 16.
Coach Moore, you know, he's not going too deep in the bench. 7 players, keeping everyone fresh, keeping everyone, you know, engaged and keeping the feeling of the game. So, you know, Benilde, you know, they got to feel good about what they're doing.
You mentioned it briefly earlier. They didn't know what they were going to have coming into tonight. Everybody got the flu on this team earlier this week. They're all back, and here, there's a block by Uppus and a foul call.
Looks like Benilde drunk their Gatorade, though, because they're ready to play. They've come in here, and I know, yes, Totino-Grace's first game, trying to learn their new coach, trying to learn the system. They've been accustomed to Coach Robert Ware for the last couple years, and so sometimes it's difficult for that first start.
Gilson from the free throw line knocks it down.
And I tell you what, there's nothing worse than having a team come in and they have that bad taste in their mouth. You know, Benilde losing those close games and, you know, really in every game. And so they're looking at playing a team in their first game of the season and trying to beat them to get their first win of the season.
There's Gabe Alata back in. Reese in the corner. And an illegal screen called on the other side. That's Uppus. He got 2 of them quickly. So that's going to bring Dunn back in, as Uppus will take a breather maybe for the rest of the half.
See more and more of that now in college basketball, the skip pass. Uppus tried to set that little baseline screen there and get that skip pass off. He was just moving a little bit.
Will Schmidt taking Drees outside. Battling for the rebound was Jacob, but it bounces to Alata.
There's Dunn.
Inside there against Kittleson.
Fundamentally sound. Right, left, up and under. You know, probably jumps 2 inches off the ground, but it doesn't matter. He uses position, uses his body well, and good footwork.
And there's one for Jacob.
Yep, good sign there. Good sign. Jacobs now made his first shot. Now let's see if Braden Mitchke, he needs to come get into the game because he's the type of individual, if he starts to feel the game, he can cause problems.
Lead 13 again. Totino-Grace trying to make a late run here in this half to tighten things up. Again, it's been live and die by the jump shot kind of night for the Eagles. Mostly death so far. Inside, Peterson gets his own miss. Here's Alata. Too strong, but there's the height again. Drees tapped up by Peterson, and then finally finished off by 4.
Now those were 5 scoring opportunities in 1 possession. So if you're Totino-Grace, you want to address that situation. It's your home court, so the advantage is for you. So you have to limit Benilde to just 1 scoring opportunity, and that's it.
An offensive foul called against Jacob. That's his second.
Totino-Grace, no rhythm right now. And so sometimes to build rhythm, maybe you need to play faster. You have to get out on the fast break, get easy points. Benilde been doing a good job getting back and limiting any transition points. And when you're playing on the road, that is one of the areas that you want to be able to secure in order to give yourself a chance or an opportunity to win.
Jacob stays on with the 2 fouls. Miller in the corner, looking inside for Dunn. There's Jacob right there defending, and he pretty much had to go hands up, give up. Lead is 17 again.
Really like that kid, Dunn. You know, nothing special, just works hard, seals you, gets good position, fundamentally sound.
Just picked up a foul there as Kittleson was trying to blow by. His first, just the team's 4th. Next foul against the Eagles will be a 1-and-1 for Benilde-St. Margaret's. Mischke was grabbed on the baseline as well, so there's team foul number 5. 3:39 to go first half.
They got to get Mischke in some pick and roll. They got to get him in some 2-man game action where he's coming off. He can either look for a shot or maybe get a dribble drive. He has ability to create for others. They got to get him in some pick and roll game so he can get into this game because he's the starting point guard and the team goes as the point guard goes. So they got to get him involved.
I think that last foul was on Liam Ford. Berger high floater. Jacob trying to keep it alive, and it went out off of him. I just think what this game would be like if some of these shots for Totino-Grace had fallen. It's been a pretty hard luck half in a lot of ways.
But credit to Benilde. I mean, Benilde's doing a good job. They're giving you one shot, and that's all you get. And so Totino-Grace has to do the same thing on this end. Now they need to push. They need to push. This is a fast break opportunity.
Flotmeyer for Kittleson, and he'll go to the line.
Benilde not letting anything easy. You know, they recover back on defense there in transition. That was an opportunity right there for Kittleson to maybe have an easy layup. But Benilde's saying, no, you're going to have to earn it from the free throw line.
Fouls on Drees. That's his first. And Kittleson short on the free throw.
There's 3 minutes left, 17-point lead. Totino-Grace needs to think about, we need to get 3 stops, score, 3 stops, score, try to cut this lead into 10, get some momentum coming out of halftime. You know, they're at home, and sometimes when you're down, you play with a sense of urgency. So let's see if they can cut this thing to 10 before halftime.
Skip pass looking for Dunn.
There's Dunn, he's too deep.
Oh, that time he overshot it. And Flotmeyer wants to push the pace again, and he does find Kittleson. Almost ran out of room, and then he went right into Drees. And the kick out now for Berger. And that would have been a big one had it gone. Now Alada. Blocked by Flotmeyer, and out of bounds. What a defensive play.
Yeah, I mean, you needed something there because, you know, Totino-Grace right now, it's just been a tough night. It's just been a tough night, but they have to start on the defensive end first. They have to limit Benilde, dribble drives, close out the shooters. And if they just take it, if they just have the mindset, 3 stops, we score, 3 stops, we score, they can get back in this game.
Jacob trying to get his offense going. That's a good start.
Good. Nice little mid-range shot there. That's what he needs to do. He had a one-on-one opportunity over there. He recognized it and was able to score.
So the lead is 14. And Ariel talk about that 10-point target.
Yeah, I mean, that's your goal. I mean, if you're lucky, you can maybe cut into it and get a single digits, and that would really make you feel good. But when you have a 17-point lead, you have to look at it like, let's just score 3 times, get a stop, score 3 times, and then we'll get in it.
There's the stop on a block shot. Flotmeyer trying to beat the defense down. Berger finds Kittleson, left it short, and Alada has the rebound. That was a big chance for the Eagles. Bounce pass down low and done. Up and under. What a...
Oh, come on, Charlie.
That was straight out of 1975.
Come on, the one-hand scoop shot there.
I don't think you can hit that shot with shorts as long as he's wearing.
And see, Dunn is scoring, right? So he feels good about himself. And today's player, they need to see the ball go through the basket. And so now here's Dunn. Here he comes with the little scoop shot. Little one-hand finger roll there. But now watch him sprint back on defense. Now he recovers. Now he's ready to play defense. That's what's funny about young guys. They see that ball go through the basket. Now they're eager to play defense.
Jacob misses the first free throw. The foul there a moment ago was on Alada. That's his second. And he goes to the bench. Jacob, very good free throw shooter, is 84% a year ago. So the miss uncharacteristic. Gets the second one. Just like that, even with the tough half he's had, Totino-Grace's leading scorer was 6. Sure he'd like about 10 more.
Well, Benilde does a really good job as half-court offense. They really execute.
Dries setting the feet again. A nice rebound by Namunda. Had to adjust.
They got to push. They got to push.
Flottmeyer on the baseline, trying to spin on Miller. Lost the ball, came right to Wierke. Flottmeyer had it knocked away once, and he's going to get 3 chances at it. Even though he missed that shot, is that partly because he might be worried about where the hands are coming from?
Yeah, you know, there's some length out there, and so Benilde early on has been showing signs that they'll deny any kind of easy shot, so that sticks in your brain.
And the reverse of the other end.
But on the opposite end, Benilde has no fear of Totino-Grace size. They're attacking that rim.
Schmidt misses short.
That's too quick. That's too quick.
You wanted that 10-point gap, but it's back up to 17 now at 27 seconds left.
Yeah. They're going to try to eat some clock here. Maybe use a pick and roll up top for Miller. Miller very crafty, experienced guy, very comfortable with the basketball, poised. He's got a mismatch up here, so looking like he wants to take him one-on-one. Yep, caught him. Yep.
Oh, they got him a 5-second call.
Yeah, that was a tough call because he was advancing the ball, and usually when you advance the ball, he's going to the basket. You know, the count stops.
I thought they were about to call a foul on Schmidt. Looked like
it looked like he slapped him in the face. Yeah.
And a break for Totino-Grace. They could use a few. Now Jacob trying to beat the clock. Deep 3. And almost got the roll. And that would have been at least something to feel good about going into the half. But plenty to feel good about if you're Benilde-St. Margaret's 38-21. And they really played the game they want to play.
You know, sometimes when you're down and the cards are against you, you had the flu, you are 0-2, and now a different sense, a different feel of optimism happens. They understood that they were in each of the first 2 games that they lost. They had the flu, but they've recovered. They're playing with house money right now, so they came in very loose, came in very poised, had an agenda, had a game plan to attack the inside and go low post and try to, you know, soften up that Totino-Grace inside, and they have executed to perfection here.
So a 17-point lead for Benilde-St. Margaret's at the half. We'll be back in a moment. You're watching CCX Sports.
The color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. They're my savior. My name is Lola Silvestri. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
I rescued Toast from a shelter in 2011. I love Toast because she's a lazy diva. Toast does whatever she wants, obviously. She's sleeping right now. She's an epic snuggler. She's so comforting. She's so loving. Toast makes me laugh. When I walked into the shelter, I knew right then that she was special.
Halftime here at Totino-Grace, and it's all Benilde-St. Margaret's 38-21. Charlie Beatty, Ariel McDonald with you. And in that first half, Benilde-St. Margaret's really dominated, and they did it by going to the interior.
You know, that's a smart approach when you're on the road. You see Benilde, they're really going to try to attack the paint area, and Totino-Grace probably didn't expect it as much. But Totino-Grace really needs to find some opportunities to score in fast break, as we see Flottmeyer finish, gets the steal, pushes it, has the opportunity for the and one. You see Schmidt with the ability to bang it from the outside. They're going to need a little bit more of that.
But this was most of the first half right here. Multiple opportunities for Benilde-St. Margaret.
For Benilde-St. Margaret, their inside players getting second chance, third chance opportunities, really camping out in the paint, now having the ability to knock it down from the perimeter as well. Just a great blend, a great balance of inside-outside attack.
As you saw there, Dylan Drees with a pair of them. At the other end, Tyler Kilson, you mentioned he's a guy that's got to get going, doing some of the dirty work, and there it was. But the threes were falling for everybody. Benilde-St. Margaret's, that time it was Nick Peterson. And Charlie Jacob finally got one to go late. He did lead Totino-Grace with 6 points, but he took a lot of opportunities to get there.
But you think about Kittleson, you think about Braden Mitchke, you think about Charlie Jacob. These are three main players that are coming back from last year. And so far, Benilde has been able to control them, but Totino-Grace is going to need those boys to step up, because between the three of them, there's only 5 points. So with those type of individual players who have that quality, that skill set, they need to come out here this second half and put up some numbers.
And part of this score is surprising because Totino-Grace coming into this game as the ranked team. We're going to take a look at the top 10 rankings. State of Minnesota here as we get the teams back out on the court for half number 2. 38-21 is our score for Benilde-St. Margaret's. There's the 4A rankings. Apple Valley, they Had a very impressive opening game against Robbinsdale Armstrong on Tuesday. Tonight they're taking on Minnehaha in a game that's drawn some attention, we'll just say. Green Durham Hall right there with Apple Valley. That's a pretty interesting list of teams, but it seems to me like Apple Valley is kind of head and shoulders above everybody else.
Yeah, with that state championship last season and their best player coming back, and with him wanting to finish this season out as a state champion as well, they got everything going for them.
There you see the 3A team rankings. Not surprising to see De La Salle at the top. The loss was to a team from Iowa City West, the Breakdown Classic at Hopkins last week. There you see Totino-Grace at number 8. And that's an interesting spot for them. Obviously lost a couple of key scores from last year. New head coach. They're up there with the best of the bunch. And right there, you see the top 2 teams, both in Benilde-St. Margaret's section. So that's what they've got to deal with coming up at the end of the year, De La Salle and Orono. Well, we're going to take one more break. When we come back, second half on the way. Totino-Grace got some work to do, down 17 here on CCX.
The color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. They're my savior. My name is Lola Silvestri. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Just about set for half number 2. 38-21 Benilde-St. Margaret's here on CCX Sports. And in that first half, take a look at some of the leading scores. Joe Dunn leading the way for Benilde. He had 13 in the first half doing his work inside. 6 apiece for Uppus, Drees, and Ford. 2 from Alada, 2 for Miller, and then 3 for Nick Peterson. Alada and Miller were the guys that came in averaging a combined 33 points per game. Obviously, like we said, just 2 games. Even John Moore doesn't know what he's got in terms of leading scores. It looks like he's got a guy to lean on and Dunn.
You know, from night in and night out, it could be anybody, you know, and that's the sign of a really good team because it makes you very unpredictable. And so for the opposing team, it makes it difficult for you to be scouted. And so you got Joe Dunn, JD, a.k.a. JD. He's come in here and he's played with some passion, some poise, and just really been an effective player and able to get his team this 17-point lead.
On the other side, Charlie Jacob led the way with 6. Kittleson and Schmidt each with 5. 3 for Riley Berger and 2 for Nick Flottmeyer.
You know, Charlie, I was watching warm-ups. I'm big on watching body language, right? So Totino-Grace down 17 points. They come out at halftime. We have a warm-up. Nobody with a sense of urgency. No, I'm not seeing anyone, you know, just coming out here really hyped and ready to go. They have an excellent crowd here. You know, it's going to be interesting to see how this second half plays out.
And the first couple minutes to be real key. You talked about carving the lead down to 10 if you could by halftime. If you can do it by that 15-minute mark, maybe 14-minute mark, you're right in the game. Jacobs going to attack, try to hand it off for Kittleson, and Schmidt will run it down. Unfortunately, Liam Ford steps in the way of the pass. Uppus, very nice job to keep his feet on this side of the timeline.
Yeah, you got
see guys do that very often.
Yeah, you got the center pushing it on the fast break there. I like that.
Tried to push it, and then I think he realized he was a center. About 47 feet. Dunn inside, pushed him out to the high post this time. Now Miller. Schmidt is inside on Dunn now. That's an interesting matchup. Those are 2 guys that are built similarly.
See, this is why I like a shot clock in high school. They're up 17. They can play, you know, poised and slow and just really milk the possession.
And a travel called on Alada. Lost the ball on the way up. And they grabbed it again. They called him for the travel. You know, what was the state semifinal a couple of years ago? Hopkins and Shakopee, and they held the ball for 4 minutes in overtime.
That's right.
Only to win it on a half-court shot.
We saw that with Iron Crosby and Minnehaha. You know, Crosby hung in there.
Three-pointer from Schmidt. Flottmeyer with the offensive rebound. Need a few more of those, Totino-Grace. Easier said than done against these big guys. Yeah. And he's rewarded. 4 for Flottmeyer. First basket of the second half goes to the Eagles.
You know, no ball denial.
Miller for 3. Nice rebound by Schmidt. Almost palmed that on the way down. Flottmeyer had it knocked away, looking for somebody, and he travels too. Took that extra dribble when he came back down.
Looks like the adjustment Totino-Grace made. They came out, they're really packing the paint. So right now, all 5 players are playing and trying to defend three-point line and down. Looks like they're going to try to force Benilde to make shots from the outside.
Miller attacking the hoop. And he gets the roll. And really, that's one of the differences in this game, too, is that Benilde-St. Margaret's shots are rolling in. Totino's are not. And that pass thrown to a Kittleson who wasn't looking. Now here's Ford. Nice first half for him, and Kittleson hustles back to block it. Braden Mischke, a handoff for Flottmeyer, and it's sent into the wall back there by Uppus.
Uppus, I mean, kind of, you know, shades of Ethan Happ. You know, he's long, he's gangly, gets off the floor quick, just really explosive there. No, it takes him no time to get off the floor there. He anticipates the quick floater there, gets to it, saves his team 2 points.
Jacob picked up by a lot of both of those guys playing with 2 fouls. Inside look, Berger back on the floor. Came in for Flottmeyer a moment ago. Driving is Flottmeyer, pardon me, came in for Kittleson. Flottmeyer stayed out, and he'll go to the line.
That's Nick Flottmeyer's game. He likes to attack that basket. He can go right or left, open up the second half. 2-point shot right there inside with a good left hand. But Mischke and Jacob, they got to help him out. Clem Haskins used to always tell us, guards win and lose all games. The key to winning is guard play. So for Totino-Grace, Mischke, Jacob, they got to step it up.
Flottmeyer is a guy that his head coach really likes. Only averaged 6 points a game last year coming off the bench, but he thinks he can be a big factor this year. This is the second one. He has 5 tonight. 3 minutes in, the lead has been shaved by a point. For Totino-Grace, obviously you always want to get your season off to a good start. Doesn't get any easier after this. They're going to play Austin, state runner-up, on Saturday. I believe that game's at the Target Center. Part of that breakdown challenge. Ford driving, and he gets the foul. Pardon me, that game's at Hopkins, not the Target Center. And they'll play Brooklyn Center. It's no slouch.
No, sir. And you know, they beat Brooklyn Center last year on their home court. And so I'm sure Brooklyn Center looking for a little payback this season.
Jesse Namunde comes back in, Schmidt out. So Schmidt and Kittleson on the bench again. They go small.
Yeah, they're extremely small now. So look, probably going to play a little zone because they're not going to be able to defend that low post. So probably going to look maybe some matchup, some zone here. Got to speed this game up if they want to cut into this lead.
Lane violation there, so that free throw does not count. So it stays 40-24. Mischke didn't score in that first half. Kicks it out here for Berger. Nice look.
Nice kick out. That's a good sign there.
Now, when you go small, you can shoot from the outside. That's what they were trying in the first half. And statistically speaking, these have got to start going down sooner rather than later.
Well, let's see if Benilde is smart enough now that they've gone small to continue what they started at the beginning of the game, which is go low post and make them pay inside. force some double teams. Now you get some opportunities from the outside.
There you see that pass from Mischke. That went through about 8 hands. And a clean look for Berger. We were right behind him when he took that shot. It's always a fun angle to see that shot from courtside, right behind the players taking it. You feel like you're taking it, and you know if it's going in or out.
All right.
Just like a shooter usually does. Now here's Drees. And a travel against Uppus. A little life in the gym here for Totino-Grace. Down 13.
This adjustment might pay off for him. It might, just cut into this lead a little bit, and he can come back with some size and try to close out this game.
Mischke trying the curl. Now Flottmeyer, he's got the big guy Drees on him. Berger. Oh, in and out. Jacob keeps it alive. Now Flottmeyer trying to drive against the big guy. Came up short. Joe Dunn's going to check back in a moment.
Yeah, they got to get Dunn back in because right now they don't have anyone who's producing from the inside, and Dunn's been doing a great job all game long.
Peterson misses, cleared by Flottmeyer. Jacob. Berger again. He's got the green light. And he's got 9. He's hit 3 3-pointers, and it's a 10-point game with 12:54 left.
We talked about getting it to 10. So now Coach Moore is forced to call this timeout. Coach Carroll doing an excellent job, taking a chance. It was a gamble going small, but it's paid off for him.
A little bit more life in that huddle. That's what you're looking for.
That's what you're looking for. And, sometimes when you're at home, you just need to see the ball go through the basket to ignite the team. And right now, going small, every guard on the court has the ability to penetrate. And they're going to use Berger, spot him up around the three-point line. He's going to try to move. And he hasn't been shy at all. So, Coach Carroll is his old coach from Minnetonka, so he has the confidence. He knows that Coach Carroll is giving him the right to take any kind of scoring opportunities if he sees fit.
Pretty good form on that shot, and in between the two, he had one that was halfway down.
Yep.
Otherwise, he might be looking at a 7-point game right now.
And he's playing the 5 right now, so he's got his hands full with JD right there. So we'll see if maybe Benilde maybe attacks him, because you want to attack him to get him out of the game. Maybe try to get 2 fouls on him, and then he's forced to go to the bench.
A lot of switching defensively. Now it's done on Jacob.
Here it comes.
Watch that free arm. Liam Ford underneath lays it in.
Such a heck of a player. Not too fast, not too slow.
They left Berger alone.
Yep.
They might not want to do that.
Well, the problem is Berger's playing that 5 position, and so Joe, he's used to, going back and maybe covering the lane, but Berger, he's spotting up around that 3-point line. Now we're at 9.
Still 12 minutes left. That's an eternity. Miller driving, and he'll get the foul as well.
So now for Benilde right now, they got to be thinking, okay, yeah, the other team is small, but we have to attack the inside too.
Foul is on Namunde. Miller hits the free throw. He has 7. A quiet 7. Jacob inside. Flottmeyer, and he'll go to the line.
Flottmeyer's the kind of player, you don't know if he has 2 points, or you don't know if he has 40. He's the kind of player, he's poised, he never changes his expression, he just plays hard every possession.
Fouls on Liam Ford. And a lot of Uppus back into the game. Ford and Drees out. Flottmeyer trying to match 3-point plays with Riley Miller at the other end. Eight points for the senior Nick Flottmeyer. 45-36.
And now with Totino-Grace going small, it's kind of slowed down Benilde. It's forcing them to more half-court offense, because if they try to get in transition, Totino-Grace can recover.
Uppus wants the ball inside. Instead, they go the other way with Dunn. Double teamed and had it blocked. Eric Krieger from behind. And now Jacob at the other end, a little Euro step.
Little Euro step there. So now here goes Totino-Grace, that small ball. Coach Moore calling that timeout. He's going to have to make some kind of adjustment here because now when Totino-Grace gets the rebound, you know, all 5 guys, they're sprinting up the floor, and that's forcing Benilde's big guys to sprint the floor. As we see Dunn try to split this double team, but they get their hands on it, and now Charlie, he's going to push it up the floor, and he uses that Euro step there. Totino-Grace back in this game now.
We were a little blocked by the officials. It's hard to believe he got there with only 2 steps and really only took 1.
Yeah, but he had that big guy in front of him. And so here's Charlie Strong. He's coming at you full force, and you're just bracing yourself because you don't know if he's going to go left or right. And now that the Euro step has become a part of American basketball now, every player's using it. It's certainly a very effective weapon.
Down 17 at the half. And it's now down to 7.
So Coach Carroll making that adjustment right after halftime. It's about 3-4 minutes in, and he goes small. He takes that gamble. And now you got Charlie Strong playing the 4 position. He's a physical player. You know, this is a football school, so he doesn't mind getting dirty. He has the ability to guard your point guard, and he can mix it up inside with your main player, your main inside player.
You know, all this being done with Kittleson and Schmidt on the bench.
Yeah.
A strategic decision by Nick Carroll, showing his coaching chops in his first head coaching appearance at the high school level. And it takes guts to do this against a team that's been beating you up inside. And he's out on the court right now, clapping his team along. Berger nearly got a hand on that. Dunn's now trapped in the corner without a dribble. He'll get it back. The jumper along the baseline. Couldn't get the roll. Up is trying to follow up, and he will.
Yeah. Good hustle play there. They needed that very, very much to stop some of this bleeding.
And that's the downside to going small. You worry about the rebound. And Jacob wanted a foul. Yeah. And what are they calling here? That ball hit.
It was
kicked
kicked
out of bounds.
It was kicked by Charlie Strong. He tried to stop the possession. It was a smart play, but he kicked it.
So, Jacob with the kick. Okay, yep. Pardon me.
But that's a heads-up play. He was down. So, you know, if they get out on the fast break, they got numbers. So that's that senior experience right there.
Thought I saw the official on the far side pointing Totino-Grace's way. Not sure what he was pointing at. Done with a kick out from Miller.
Got a mouse in the house, yep.
And Namunde did the only thing he really could, and that's fouling.
But Totino-Grace, they've picked up on the read. They understand what Benilde is trying to do. They're running that flex cut action, trying to find someone in the mid post or maybe right there inside the lane, try to get position so they can finish around the glass.
Uppus driving and count it.
I like that kid. I like that kid. Has the ability to stroke it from the three-point lane, and we just see an ability to put it on the floor and finish in the lane through contact. That's a tough move right there. I like that move.
Fouls on Schmidt.
Yeah. And he's a lefty, and he finished with the right.
Free throw doesn't go. Kittleson's back in too. He grabs the board. The lead is 11.
Right now, Totino-Grace, really no shooters on the floor. They substituted Berger, Mitchke. So right now, they're bigger right now. So let's see if maybe they can get some of their big guys in on the low post.
Jacob out there right now. He's the shooter, but he hasn't been able to get free. Kittleson, bodied up by Uppus, and that's going to be his third.
They got Mitchke, you know, playing right there at the free throw line extended. He has the ability to go right or left. He can create, give the extra pass, or finish in the, around the rim.
Jacob for Namunde.
There's Flatmeyer.
Uppus got to be careful. That's a double dribble, though.
You know, Uppus scored a couple points here now, so you can see he's getting more back involved into the game, using some energy there.
And a fun interaction during the pregame. The Benilde players are warming up right next to the Totino students, and they're all looking at Uppus and saying, hey, dunk it, throw it down. And he looked back over him and he said, I can't, my coach won't let me.
He doesn't want to start the game off 2-0.
That's right.
2-0 and be in the coach's doghouse.
The heady player, even during the warm-ups.
Nice pass.
Speaking of heady players, that's got to be a jump ball or something. And it is. It'll stay with Benilde-St. Margaret's.
You need to keep your eye on Uppus. You can see his skill set. He's a player. He has the ability to stroke it from the outside. He has the ability to put it on the floor. And that was a nice look there. I mean, he threaded that needle right in there to Joe Dunn.
Flotmeyer tied him up. Flotmeyer gets a breather right now. Replaced by Mischke. 8:40 remaining, and Benilde-St. Margaret's has calmed the building down a little bit last couple minutes. Another good road tactic.
They got a mismatch.
Alada in the corner, inside for Uppus. Miller, they close on him quickly. Too strong on the drive.
Miller wishes he could get that back off-balance shot there.
Jacob again inviting contact, but Uppus was straight up and down. Now Alada at the other end, and they're going to get the block on Mamunde, who got there late.
It was a good effort by Mamunde. He tried to, sell it to the referee, but Benilde doing a great job. There's Uppus right there. Many times Uppus would try to block your shot, but he just held his hands up high, got that deflection, and Benilde able to get out in the fast break for an and one opportunity here.
Yeah, he saw from that angle. He did hit him square, but Mamunde was sliding through the entire time, kind of falling to his left, and that's why he didn't get the call. So a 13-point lead for the Red Knights. 8:02 remaining. Kittleson inside. Jacob has everybody cleared out. Kittleson got Uppus to go with him. Double figures now for Jacob.
TG trying to hang in there.
The trick when you're trying to come back from 17 down, just stringing together enough stops against an offense this diversified, as there's Alada again.
So you see Alada, didn't even shoot the whole first half, but now comes out this second half, gives his team a lift.
This would be a lift for Totino-Grace.
Yeah.
Now Schmidt on the second effort.
Yep. That's Schmidt's shot right there. Coach Carroll calls his timeout right now. Got it back to 10. Probably going to try to make this late push. 7 minutes to go. So you want to take these 7 minutes and you want to split them into halves. 3.5, 3.5. And you want to tell your team right now, we got 3 minutes to try to cut this thing into 5. And if we can get it to 5, we'll use the last 3 minutes, try to build up on, and maybe try to cut into that 5-point lead, or eventually maybe even go up a couple of points. So you want to use these last 7 minutes, try to split them in halves, and as you approach your offensive end, be very deliberate about what kind of offenses you want to run, what you want to get, what kind of looks you want to get, and defensively really make sure that you contain these big guys on Benilde's team.
Let's flip it to the other side. Benilde-St. Margaret's, are you using them up as much clock as you can here? Or are you still trying to run everything normally?
Well, you want to play like you've been playing in the first 5 minutes of the game. You want to stay loose. You want to move the ball around, but you definitely want to look for a good scoring opportunity.
Travel by Miller.
That's a good stop. That's a good stop.
Dragging the pivot foot there a little bit, I think.
And that was just hesitation, because sometimes you see you got a 10-point lead and you're thinking, here's my chances, here's my time to score, here's my time to score, but you're worried what kind of shot you need to take. And so for Benilde, they just need to play loose. They just need to play loose. I call it playing to win, because sometimes you can get uptight and then you find yourself playing not to win, but you find yourself playing not to lose.
Riley Berger trapped. Jacob called timeout. It's unfortunate because Schmidt just buried the three from the other corner. It's a great pass by Berger.
Yeah.
And a heads-up play by Jacob. You can't blame him.
Yeah.
It's a 30-second timeout just to keep the possession alive. So it's a good play, but a bad break for the Eagles.
Well, they got to turn that negative into a positive. Here's Mitchke, the skip pass here.
This is what led to it, and Berger hustling it down. Now watch the pass. Timeout was called right about there, and the shot goes in for Schmidt. Unfortunate, but they do keep the ball, and that's what's important.
What you tell players, run the same play.
Yeah, you'll get double teamed in the corner.
That's
and
right.
Make a great pass to the other corner.
That's
play.
right. Well, that's a bad spot to have the ball, too.
Jacob on a lot of. Benilde-St. Margaret's going back to a man-to-man. Schmidt from the top of the key. Inside, Jacob competing for it. Tied up, and a lot of somehow extracted that thing.
50-50 balls, that's a part of winning, too. When you're a road team, you want to own the 50-50 balls.
Drees for three. Too strong. Up who saved it.
Great hustle play.
And threw it out off Mischke.
Uppus wants to win tonight. Uppus wants to win. A great play there.
6'6" senior Carter Uppus.
Probably too quick of a shot for Drees. He knocked down a couple in the first half. But right now, with a 10-point lead, you want to make sure you shoot the highest percentage shot.
And if that had gone in, that would have been a real killer bucket as Alata got Mischke in the air. A chance at the line. Yes. Second foul on Braden Mischke.
Totino-Grace lucky there because he makes that shot with an opportunity for an and one. You find yourself climbing that hill again.
This is the first free throw, so looking like a good foul right now by Mischke.
Mm-hmm.
One out of two. Alata had 10 points on Tuesday, 18 in a game against Columbia Heights, and Jacob had it stripped.
Totino-Grace, you don't want any unforced turnovers. You want aggressive turnovers, really attacking that basket.
Schmidt with the block, tapped it out, but nobody there.
There's those second chances.
John Moore wants a timeout. Just to button everything up here for Benilde-St. Margaret's at 5:25 left, up by 11.
Coach Moore over there getting in players' faces, coaching them up. You can see his face turning red there. He understands the moment. It's 5 minutes left to go in the game. And you know, most experienced coaches, they teach first 5 minutes of the game are important. That's where you establish who you are, your identity. You want to close out second halves and especially start off the second half on a good note. But the last 5 minutes, especially with a 10-point lead, 11-point lead right now, you want the kids really executing your offense. They run that flex cut action, so he wants good screens. I saw him punch his fist because he didn't like the screen that was set because he's trying to free up someone for a low post move. He recognizes they're back to small ball. You got Schmidt out there, of course, but they're back to small ball. He wants to attack him inside.
Interesting that Dunn's not out there right now. On to attack inside. He's been the guy tonight. Uppus as well.
10-point lead, you can get Dunn a blow. Get him a 2-minute blow and let him finish those last 3 minutes. As long as this lead remains at 11-10, when it starts getting to 7, then you got to get him off the bench.
7's as close as Totino-Grace is coming here in the second half. Jacob got a hand up, trying to keep his feet. Flottmeyer's the cavalry. And Uppus fouled him. That's 4 now on Uppus.
You know, even Uppus in that situation, he was ahead of the ball. You would like him to maybe sprint back and establish a position so that Flottmeyer might have to choose, but Flottmeyer being smart about it, attacking the paint and putting it in the referee's hands to call a foul or no.
See the reaction there from Uppus. Not sure what he was reacting to. That one's going to get called every time.
Every time. Here's Totino-Grace now. They've gone small again. So in this last 5 minutes, let's see if they're going to try to pick up the tempo, get some defensive stops, try to cut into this lead.
Done with the one-handed rebound off the miss. So the lead's 10, 4:40 left. Miller's had the ball in his hands a lot here in the second half.
Coach Moore over there yelling, run the offense, run the offense.
Nick Peterson out there at crunch time.
If I'm Peterson, I would just hold the ball, because if they're not going to come out and guard you, then, you know, you might as well just hold the ball and eat up some clock.
Alada, they don't have to do anything right now.
Right now, Totino-Grace not getting in any passing lanes. That was a good attempt right there by Berger. But Totino-Grace, Berger's been doing a good job trying to get in passing lanes, create some ball pressure. But the rest of the players from Totino-Grace, they got to get in some ball line so they get some scoring opportunities. All they need is maybe 2 or 3 steals, a couple fast break opportunities, and that's going to put Benilde in a little bit of a pickle. Uh-oh.
And the pass thrown away. Drees trying to find Alada. I think Alada thought he was going to shoot it.
Well, Drees was attacking the basket, and what is he, 6'9" there? He should, you know, get that ball high and try to finish around the rim. There's no shot blockers on the floor for Totino-Grace, so they need to think about attacking that basket.
Jacob from the corner. And he even gets the long rebounds, Joe Dunn. Whistle away from the ball and a hold.
Didn't see it. Looked like Berger was holding on to Dunn there. Dunn fighting for that low post position, and he's a hard guard.
1-on-1 situation. That's the 8th team foul on the Eagles. Quieter second half for Dunn. Misses the first free throw. In fact, he's not scored in the second half. He has 13. All came before halftime. Berger. That one was strong from the start. Miller somehow comes down with it.
A little too quick for that. They should, you know, let the clock marinate a little bit. They're smaller now. Try to let the ball swing from one side to the other. Maybe get a guard, you know, Drew trying to beat his man off the dribble, get some paint penetration where the defense has to collapse, and then you get an outside shooter with an open shot possibly.
Is that a common mistake young players make, is that they see the first half a chance and they take it?
Yeah. Especially with the lead being this way, and then they see the clock running. So it's only natural as a young player. You start to panic a little bit. You want to try to make up the deficits too fast instead of allowing the system to bring forth some kind of result.
Miller thought he had a pass that he didn't, ended up dragging his foot. Kittleson back into the game. A little bit of an inside presence for Totino-Grace. Still down 10. This is Krieger. Flotmeyer on the curl. Nice scoop. He can get the roll.
But that's the inside presence of Benilde. Sometimes because of that size early on in the game, it gets in your mind. It starts to, you know, grow in your mind that, it's going to be a tough shot inside. And Flotmeyer, you know, doing a good job taking the ball to the basket, just unable to execute right there.
Timeout taken by Benilde-St. Margaret's. 2:04 remaining.
Coach Miller with his 10-point lead, about to run this 2-minute drill here.
An interesting second half. Benilde-St. Margaret's only has 16 points.
Yeah,
they're getting the job done.
They're getting the job done. You know, but the game is always won on the defensive end. I don't care what sport you play. You have to emphasize defense, because if you can defend and you score and the game is 2 and you have 2, but you hold a team and you don't allow them to score, you win the game. So Benilde doing a really good job still. You know, they did a good job in the first half, but they also did a good job in the second half as well. You know, just really limiting Totino-Grace's scoring opportunities.
So it looks like, unless they run away with it here late, Benilde-St. Margaret's isn't going to win the half. which means they'll have won a half in each game. But here tonight, that first half was so impressive. It gave you quite a buffer zone.
They did a really good job executing early on. And Totino-Grace, you got the jitters, your nerves are going, so they'll be fine. They have a lot of good pieces on their ball club, but sometimes that first game, you need to just get the kinks out and get the cobwebs out. But
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You talked about Benilde's early schedule being tough. Well, this is a good team. I mean, they're 0-2, but they lost to Edina, which is a 4A team and a good one.
Right.
And they lost to a team that was a state semifinalist last year. So it's a good group.
And I'm sure Coach Carroll had that conversation with them, like, guys, don't be fooled by 0-2. Look at the point deficit. Look at the competition who they're playing against. They're going to be ready to play, because sometimes when you're 0-2, you're more hungry. Let's say if maybe Benilde was 2-0, maybe they come in here sleeping a little bit. But when you're down, there's nowhere else to go but up.
Foul is on Jacob. It's his third. Still a 1-1, but Dunn got the first one. His first point of the second half. And there's a couple of, so to say, clutch free throws, but important free throws psychologically.
Good sub there by Coach Moore. Moves Dunn to the bench because he wants some more mobility out on the floor, particularly with Totino-Grace going small, probably looking for three-point shots. You need mobile players who can really close out.
Kittleson on the baseline. Too short. Miller. And he's fouled by Flottmeyer. And now with 1:43 left, your Benilde-St. Margaret's, you can see the finish line, and so can Nick Carroll. Second foul on Flottmeyer tonight. Miller to the free throw line. Only 7 points in this game, but the damage has been inside. He's been handling the ball almost exclusively here in the second half as they've tried to hold the lead.
I don't know what Coach Moore gave the kids for the flu, but he probably needs to bottle it up and market it, because these kids have come out and responded well throughout all the adversity, being 0-2, having flu symptoms all week. They've really come out here.
Whoa, how about that? And one for Jacob.
Charlie Jacob,
going anywhere.
Yeah, Charlie Jacob says it's not over yet.
Fouls on Alada. That's his third. This would make it a 10-point game. We've seen crazier things than that.
Coach Moore coming back with Joe Dunn offensively. Realizes Joe really commands that low block. Look for him to just kind of move guys in and out, possession by possession.
Jacob converts the 4-point play. He's got a team high 14. Dunn with a game high 15, and 13 of those in the first half, and he's fouled immediately by Schmidt. So they're going to make them earn this. That's the third one on Will Schmidt. But the formula's simple here for Benilde-St. Margaret's. Hit your free throws, you go home 1-2.
That's it. That's it. Make your free throws, get a stop on the other end, wait for them to foul.
Dunn hits the first one. He had 16 on Tuesday against Edina. 16 tonight, 10 in the opener. I don't know when you can start calling a guy a consistent scorer, but he's off to a good start.
They rely on him, and he's been stepping up for them.
The lead is 12 again. Jacob for Schmidt. Uppus the rebound. Gets it out of traffic. Flottmeyer does commit the foul on Peterson.
Man, Uppus, he gets off the floor. Nice player.
And he's starting from higher up than anybody else.
Yeah. But, his explosiveness off the floor, I mean, he gets off, real light. He sees the next play immediately, like what I'm seeing.
First point of the second half for the sophomore Peterson. He's played a lot of minutes here in this second half. Didn't play a ton in the first half either, but he's been in there quite a bit.
He and Miller, guard play, really controlling the tempo here, really controlling Totino-Grace guards, limiting them to scoring opportunities.
And Jacob hits another one. He's got 17. 1:15 left, and it's an 11-point game. Totino-Grace not giving up on this as they call the timeout. Trying to find a way to get the ball out of these Benilde-St. Margaret hands before they can get the free throws going.
Benilde probably just going to try to inbound this ball, get it to their best free throw shooter so he can have an opportunity to earn 2 from the free throw line. And look for them with this timeout here. Probably Coach Moore is going to say, okay, with a minute 15, let's just switch everything. That way we don't expose ourselves to any kind of pick and roll opportunity where a guy can get a good look at a three-point shot.
First meeting between these two teams in almost 3 years. Pardon me, almost 4 years. Last game was February 18th, 2014, back when they were in the same conference. Totino-Grace won that one, 67-59. They split the season series that year. And another foul is going to send Peterson to the line. This one's on Mischke. So everything's 2 shots for Benilde-St. Margaret's from here on out. Mentioned Totino-Grace will play Austin next. They don't have another home game until January 5th.
You know, as I'm looking at the clock here, I'm looking at Totino-Grace. They've given 10 fouls, but Benilde only 5. So, you know, in a 16-minute half, you're thinking, hey, we only had provocated 5 fouls, so that means we didn't even have a chance to earn any points from the free throw line. So that's something that they could probably evaluate and start to understand that in order to win games, you need balance. You need points from the free throw line, points from fast break, and points from your half-court offense. But Benilde being, you know, with the size that Benilde had, you still need to provocate some fouls because 5 is just not enough.
Jacob this time takes it all the way in. Little head fake. He's got 19. Another timeout taken by Totino-Grace. Here's that last bucket. Just before that was the head fake, and I think Peterson was expecting him to shoot another 3.
Yeah, but that's what you want to give up the 3. You don't want to give an uncontested layup because that's just too easy. You want to maybe keep him in front. If he raises up, just contest the shot, and play the percentages. Jacob is a very good three-point shooter, but you're still talking 35, 40. So it's better than, you know, an 80% shot, you know, going to the basket. So I'm sure Coach Moore is coaching that up. These are certainly lessons you need to learn, especially for the teams that they're going to play, you know, in the upcoming season.
A 10-point lead, still a minute 5 remaining. Seems like no time's gone off the clock here. Last 10 minutes of real time. I mentioned Totino-Grace not having a home game for a while. They're going to play Austin at Hopkins on Saturday. Then next Wednesday, 3 road games in a row. 13th at Brookwood Center, the 14th at Elk River. They'll start conference play. On the 19th, they'll play at Armstrong. And then we're going to play in a tournament at Bethel over the holidays. They start with Roseville. Then back on January 5th, they'll play Spring Lake Park here. Miller, Jacob slipped, and the foul was committed by Mischke. And a technical foul is going to be called on Miller for slamming the ball down.
Yeah, you got to keep her poised, though. There's no need to do that.
He's frustrated about where Mischke hit him, I think. Just a little hard on the foul, but Mischke's just trying to make sure he doesn't get by. Here it is again. Oh, it's actually earlier on. And anytime you slam the ball down, you're going to get a technical.
Okay, but why is he shooting 2 free throws? Was it an intentional foul?
I think these are because of the foul itself, the common foul that was called on Mischke. So he still gets those.
Oh, so okay. They're going to let him shoot the technical.
Yeah.
All right. And give Totino-Grace, I guess, the possession. All right.
The only technical foul I ever got was for slamming the ball down on the court.
Is that right?
And in my defense, it bounced up and off the backboard and in. So the only good story I have from basketball.
So you lost, but you won.
Yeah, well, I got a great reaction from the crowd. I was on the road. Can't remember where.
Yeah, your coach probably chewed your shorts, but that's all good.
I was the only one in the gym who actually didn't know that it went in until my coach told me. 65-55 as Jacob hits them both. Now he'll take a deep three. And Miller with the rebound. Now they got Peterson trapped, and they will call the foul. That one's on Jacob. It's his fourth for what it's worth.
They're going to play it to the end. And, you know, if you're Coach Carroll, maybe you're down, but you can use this as a teachable moment. Just late game situations, okay? We're down by 5. We're down by 10. What do we do? How do we respond? How do we chip back at this lead? As we see Peterson, he misses that free throw. But these are, once again, moments that you have to use. So hopefully Totino-Grace is engaged enough to say, okay, let's learn something from this, because we will find ourselves down in other games, but how do we respond?
1 for 2 for Peterson. 7 points now. Jacob has to give this one up. Mischke. And a foul as Peterson is shoved to the floor. So he'll go back to the line. 35 seconds remaining. Benilde-St. Margaret's will be back in action on Saturday night. They're going to take on Rosemount. That's their first home game of the year. They play Minneapolis South at home on Tuesday, and then they play Brooklyn Center.
You know, it's interesting how Coach Moore set up the schedule, first 3 games on the road. So a lot of times that's where you find your identity, find out who you are, find out how you can handle adversity being in someone else's court. And so they responded well the first 2 games. Even though they're losses, they responded well and used this 3rd game as an opportunity to build on. And they've come in here and really got a win that they're going to look back on and feel like that was wonderful that happened.
Well, the road games they have this year, it's a pretty impressive list. Mentioned Columbia Heights, Edina, this game, Brooklyn Center, De La Salle, Delano. It's not a bad team. Delano, 67-58, another 3-pointer there. They got to go to Chaska, of course. And obviously, you know, the conference schedule as well at Bloomington Jefferson's pretty good team.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, even at home, they're going to play some competitive teams. So it's going to flip on them, because now you have to defend your court. And there'll be teams that'll come in with the same kind of optimism that they came in here tonight, and they'll be looking to steal from them. So that's the beautiful thing about basketball, and especially high school athletics. There's so many just teachable moments and lessons that you can learn to really build up off of.
I think Peterson, is paying rent on this free throw line. Now he's been there the entire second half, at least the last 5 minutes. It's going to end up at double figures.
I remember when I played for the Gophers, late game situations, maybe I only got single digits, and I'd run to the ball at the end of the game to shoot those free throws to get that double-digit mark.
Follow up there by Jacob. Peterson does have 10 points.
There you go.
Yep. 7 in the second half, all at the line the last 2 minutes. 69-60 is the final. St. Margaret's gets their first win of the year. And a nice win on the road, and really that first half, it just put them too far out of reach.
You know, they came out aggressive, really established some low post paint play. Caught Totino-Grace sleeping a little bit, but for Totino-Grace, you know, first game of the year, they just lost by 9 points. So now they have a bad taste in their mouth that they can use to build upon for their next game.
Now there you see the final, 69-60. And that'll do it for us tonight. For our entire crew in the truck, Ariel McDonald, I'm Charlie Beatty saying so long. Thanks for tuning in. 69-60, the final score. Benilde-St. Margaret's over Totino-Grace. We'll leave you with some highlights from this one on CCX Sports.